Well, a good Friday. Thank you for tuning in to the Gardener's Corner program. My name is Rob Hall. And, Carl, I was actually waiting for, more or less
A drum roll?
a drum roll or some type of signal or the number one sign from Kilby to let me know that he was ready, How they do with these big TV stations, you know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
Like they'll give you a countdown. They'll do
3, 2.
4, 3, 2, 1. But a lot of times, if Kilby counts it down, the last finger he leaves up for one, is sometimes not complimentary of my character. Anyway, just having fun, laughing and joking and carrying on. It's the Gardener's Corner program, a Friday feature here on TV Channel 10, located on Charter Communications Channel 191. And my mic stand right here is
A little wobbly.
a little wobbly. That's a good word for it. But anyway, nevertheless, we get it worked out. And the Gardener's Corner program is brought to you today by T.G. Brooks Company, South Boston Memorials, and Our Pride Foods, makers of Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip. And, we kind of fly by the seat of our pants here sometimes. But anyway, if you would at this time, please make welcome the all-seeing, the all-knowing Mr. Carl Cantalupi of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. I'm not finished yet, Carl.
But pardon me.
Of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. A man that is brighter in his mind than the yellow shirt that he is wearing today.
Brighter than a 100-watt light bulb.
Absolutely. A man that was so bright when he was growing up, a lot of people thought that his name was Sonny.
Yeah, my mother used to say that all the time, actually.
How you doing, my friend?
Good. Finally getting warm temperatures now.
Yeah, well,
Bermuda grass is starting to grow.
I would just about call it hot, although I know it's going to get hotter over the next, few months or so. But yes, we went from wet and cool to where it's pretty warm. And the way they're talking, we've got a pretty good chance of rain in the forecast for, the second half of this holiday weekend. And speaking of the holiday weekend, Monday will be Memorial Day. And it is the time of the year when we pause to remember those fallen heroes that paid the ultimate sacrifice.
That's right.
To endure our freedom. And at the end of the show today, we will have a special edition of the Pledge of Allegiance that we've had here on the Gardener's Corner program before. But we are live in the studio today, and we have not, as Carl says, assumed room temperature as of yet.
Pinch me, see if I'm awake.
So give us a call if you've got a gardening question. 336-599-0266. That's 336-599-0266. Carl, with the recent rains we've had, and then the warm weather, even though we have had a lot of rain, people need to start checking on soil moisture, correct?
Oh, yeah, especially if you have plants out in hanging baskets. They're going to dry out very, very fast. And even though you might have a lot of rain, if your hanging baskets are attached underneath the overhang of the house, they're not going to get the water as plants growing out in the open. So make sure that you check your hanging baskets, regardless of whether we have a lot of rain or not, because hanging baskets just suspended in the air can dry out very, very fast, and you don't want to wait until the plant reaches what we call the permanent wilting point. The permanent wilting point is when the roots cannot function anymore. They cannot pull out they can't pull out soil moisture anymore, regardless of how much water you give to it. You know, once they die, that's it. You know, no amount of water is going to bring them back to life. So never let that happen.
And Carl, that you know, I think sometimes and I know I'm guilty of it, when we've had a lot of rain, sometimes people say, "Oh, well, we just got some rain the other day," but
Yeah.
but you know, it's certain plants that may get more water than others, and
Right, and you've got plants, fruits and vegetables. They have critical water needs, because not only does the water have to sustain plant growth, it has to be used to make fruit. And when I use the term fruit, I use that kind of loosely. I use the term fruit in a botanical sense, meaning anything that arises from ripened ovary tissue. And then, you know, that's when we talk about tomatoes and peppers and eggplants and cucumbers. They're all fruits botanically, because they're what we eat, ripened ovary tissue. Anyway, to make a long story short, make sure that you give those plants water, because you have to give the plant water in order to harvest water in return. And most fruits and vegetables are 90 to 99% water, especially in the case I always go back to grapes and blueberries. If you want a crop of grapes and blueberries, you have to water them, especially if you go throughout a dry period. You might walk out one day and you might find all the fruit on the ground. And this is nothing more than the plant's response to adverse conditions. It's you know, a plant that's producing fruit, and if it's during a extremely dry period and you have very little soil moisture, that fruit is like a dripping water faucet to a plant. And for every day that fruit is hanging on the plant at the expense of the plant, it's going to create more and more stress on the plant, to the point that that plant is going to shed that fruit, because its ultimate goal is for survival. So it's going to shed that fruit if no water is being given. So you know, some people think all they have to do is, when they go out and plant plants, is to plant them in water and walk away. Don't worry about watering or anything else. So if you have fruit plants, you'll find out sooner or later what's going to happen.
well, Carl, with all this being said about, you know, water,
Yeah.
and you know, with the recent rainfalls, I'm sure a lot of people may have standing water,
Yeah.
you know, in different parts of the landscape. You may have a mud hole, or you may have an old tire or an old soft drink can. Go ahead and start off early this year, and kind of be diligent about making sure that it's no standing water
Right.
around your place at all, other than maybe, you know, water in a bird bath, and that should be changed, you know, on a daily basis. If you have, say, a fountain in your yard where the water is flowing, you don't have to worry about that so much. But pet food containers, where you water bowls and things
Bird baths.
and stuff like that, you know, change the water, and this will help cut back on the mosquito population.
Mm-hmm.
And if you kind of, you know, start out now, and if you go through the, you know, rest of the spring and on through the summer with it, maybe the mosquito population, you know, you won't do away with it completely, but maybe you can kind of cut back, so it won't feel like when you go out in your yard that you're part of the all-you-can-eat buffet of the mosquito family.
That's right. That's right.
But
I was going to say another misconception when we're talking about soils and soil moisture. Many people are under the impression that if you have a heavy clay soil, and if that soil is located on a slope, even though the soil is heavy clay, a lot of people think that, oh well, it's going to drain very well because it's on the slope. That's not true, because water still moves downward. Sure, you're going to get runoff off of the top, but you're still going to get a large percentage of water infiltration and percolation in that soil. So just because you're on sloping ground, if you have a heavy clay soil, you're still going to have problems with water permeability through the soil.
Right.
So that's not going to really be an ease to make your soil drain any faster. If you've got heavy clay soil, you've got heavy clay soil.
Well, Carl, here it is. You just will say the last of May, Memorial Day weekend, and it's almost the weekend where kind of people start summertime. What have you all been faced with at the extension office?
Okay.
Have you came across any new problems or anything?
Yeah, what can be seen right now is a problem due to an insect. The insect is called the woolly alder aphid. Just a little history on the insect. It's found east of the Mississippi River. Woolly alder aphids are sucking insects, soft-bodied insects. They require both alder and silver maples to complete their life cycle. And around here, you can find them readily on silver maples during the year where they seem to be of importance. Plants infested with woolly alder aphid are easily recognized by the presence of large, fuzzy, white colonies of these insects on the foliage, twigs, or bark. We'll show you a picture in a minute. Although their presence usually causes alarm and is a real nuisance, these aphids apparently cause little permanent damage to their host plants. They suck plant juices and secrete much honeydew. Honeydew is the liquid that the aphids secrete due to their digestive juices and all of the plant. Undigested materials, I should say. And what happens, the sticky materials fall to the ground, sticks to the sidewalk, and one distinguishing characteristic, if you have damage done by woolly alder aphids, if the honeydew falls on the sidewalk or the street, it gives a light blue color, and it's sticky, and it gives off this light blue color, and if you see that, that's what it's done by. I saw this on a tree this morning, actually. Basically, the eggs of the woolly alder aphid overwinter in cracks and crevices on the bark of silver maple trees. In the spring, the immatures emerge and begin feeding at the midvein on the underside of the new leaves. All the young are females which give birth to live young and produce large colonies. Their feeding on the leaves cause them to curl and pucker. In late May through July, the new aphids develop wings and fly to alder trees. Once they reach alders, these aphid feeds on twigs and begin reproducing sexually. The colony becomes enveloped in a white fluffy wax and is soon composed of aphids in all stages of development. So that's kind of what to look for. Control is rarely necessary because on alder, because alder is not generally used as a landscape plant, and predators such as lacewings and lady beetles may keep this pest below damaging levels. Infested silver maple trees may become so large that control measures are expensive. It's just like pecan trees. People call in, well, what can I do to control the pecan insects and the fungus diseases that affect pecan trees? And if they're old, tall trees, there's no way that you can. Right. You just have to be content with the damage that you get. But just to show you what the woolly alder aphid looks like, if I can get it here. Here we are. And for those that of you are watching on TV or looking at the program on the computer, you can see the underside of a silver maple leaf, and you can see this dense white cottony growth on leaves. So next time you're out and about, either in the home landscape or if you're going out shopping, and you might see silver maples planted in the around shopping malls, and you see light blue sticky material sticking to the sidewalk. This is
And that's the actual backside of a silver maple leaf.
That's correct.
Wow.
And for some reason, they prefer silver maples. They don't seem to bother the other ones. And the silver maples are the ones that have the serrations or the cuts in the leaves, and is very commonly grown around here. And so a lot of people get excited if they see the whole tree covered like this, and they panic and, oh, my tree is going to die. What can I do? What can I do? Nothing. Just let it be, and they'll disappear about as fast as they came. So again, that's the woolly alder aphid.
And if you've got a vehicle, don't park it nowhere close to the tree.
Good point. Yeah, because they can be a real killer to get off.
With that, we need to get a word on for one of our fine supporting sponsors. We'll take a trip and we'll stop in at T.G. Brooks Company. They're one of our fine supporting sponsors. Along with T.G. Brooks Company today, our sponsors are Owl Pride Foods and South Boston Memorials. And again, we are live in the studio today. Call 336-599-0266. That's 336-599-0266. And that's the telephone number for the Gardeners Corner program. And if you've got a question for Carl, give us a call and we'll get you on in a quick-like manner and hopefully get you an answer to your question. But right now, we'll take a trip down to Timberlake and stop in at T.G. Brooks Company. That's a place I enjoy going down to from time to time. It's just about one-stop shopping. You'll be surprised at everything you can find and everything that you could use from T.G. Brooks Company.
You know, we're so glad to see old month of May and May's beautiful weather here in Person County. And in May, it's full-time lawn and garden season. It's the time to have fun and beautify. T.G. Brooks Company has lots and lots of tomato plants, all of the most popular local varieties. They have squash, cucumber, cabbage, broccoli, pepper plants, cantaloupe, plenty of vegetable plants and herbs like basil, chives, thyme, oregano, dill, cilantro, peppermint. They have lavender. They have your garden flowers, so many like impatiens, begonias, marigolds, petunias, vincas, and others. Get your garden seed fresh garden seed ready for planting. Reseed your lawn with clean, fresh grass seed. And they have fertilizer and lime. If you need mulch, man, do they have mulch, even the triple ground mulch. Do you need straw, pine needles? How about potting soil, planting soil, cow manure? They have spreaders, and they have aerators for sale or for rent. T.G. Brooks serves the homeowner and the commercial landscaper. T.G. Brooks Company handles everybody with the same courteous service. They can arrange delivery, or you can pull in with your pickup truck, trailer, and they'll load it up for you. The bagged products they'll load up for you in your car or your van. Remember, they have Bartlett animal feeds too. It's exciting to see May in the full-time growing season. Top off that day with a hand-cut ribeye steak from T.G. Brooks Company. Hurry out to 411 Helena Maria Road in Timberlake. T.G. Brooks has proudly served the homeowner, the farmer, and those in construction since way back in 1936. And they welcome people from all over Person County, Rougemont, Northern Durham, and of course, Southern Person County.
Here we are back on the Gardener's Corner program. My name is Rob Hall. Mr. Carl Cantalupi, our resident expert of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we want to share some information with you. And those of us here at the radio station knew that this was going to happen in the near future, but we were not real sure how near of a future it would be. But let's take this telephone
Yeah, okay,
call.
yeah, sure.
Good morning. Thank you for calling the Gardeners Corner program.
Yes, I got a problem. I was sitting out on the front porch yesterday afternoon, and it looks like flying ants. I don't know what it's that or even termites. They'll get all over you, and
Okay, where do you find them on the porch? Where are they? What are they doing?
well, it's flying around and
Flying
landing on
around.
about everything. But it looks like a little ant with wings on it.
Well, it could be. You have both flying ants and termite adults can fly as well. And so the thing to do is to see if you can capture a few, and bring them into the extension office if you want to identify them. But there's a very easy way for you to identify the differences between ants and termites, and I'll show a little visual up on the screen here now. The ant, for the people that are viewing on TV, the ant has a narrow waist, winged ant, and a winged termite has a thick body. It's not divided up into segments. On an ant, it's the head, the thorax, and the abdomen, and they have a very narrow waist. And you can see on the ant, the antennae on ants are elbowed in an elbow shape, where the termites are not elbowed. This one is really too small to see.
Okay, thank you, sir. And
But if you want to bring some into the office for identification, you're welcome to it.
okay, thank you.
I appreciate the call. And sir, now that you said it, I noticed I had, one land on my arm yesterday, and I didn't know what it was. I just kind of swatted it pretty quick. Mm-hmm. And I guess if that happens again, I'll take a closer look. But
Yeah.
so it could be either flying ants or termites. But if you see them around your home, take a little bit of time to observe what they're doing, and if you can, catch a few of them, put it in a jar or maybe a seal tight container.
Pill bottle. You can put it in a pill bottle, add some rubbing alcohol in the bottle, and bring it in that way. The thing to remember, though, is that, and I've said this before, if you think you have termites, first of all, get them identified to make sure they are. And even if you do have termites, there's no cause to rush out and sign on the dotted line with a pest control service, because they're not like in the cartoons. They don't work
Keep
fast.
half in a day.
Yeah, they don't do that. So take your time selecting a pest control firm. Get as many estimates as you can. Ask what the warranties cover and what they don't cover. Some companies, after they do an initial treatment, you have to pay a fee every year so that they can come out and check to make sure that everything's okay. And if they find something, they find new damage, then they treat it as no charge. Be aware of fraudulent operators, people that might come to the door and say, well, we see you've got insects in the trees, and so this means you have termites.
Or we was just at your neighbor's house, and we
Yeah.
thought we'd stop in. We've got some chemical left, and we can treat your house for,
Right.
a surprisingly low price. But I think Carl just passed along some valuable information. Shop around a little bit. Call several different companies, and
That's right.
and have them, come out and
don't. Some people will actually say, "Well, we are endorsed by North Carolina State University." That's another big no-no.
all right.
What you should ask for is to see a copy of their pesticide applicator's license, because this falls under structural pest control, and they have to be licensed to apply the chemicals. And if they don't have a license, I would be scared to death to hire somebody that is not licensed. Be aware of companies that have no published phone numbers.
And
This
another
is
thing,
true for people if they're located outside of towns, out in a rural area. Not to say that if they're located in a rural area they're bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if they have no listed phone number, be extremely wary.
and also ask for
References, absolutely. And the other thing to know, and some pest control operators will spread around this myth, is that if they find carpenter ants in wood products, they say that carpenter ants will chew on your wood just like termites do. That's another myth. Carpenter ants cannot feed on and they cannot digest wood like termites do. When you'll find carpenter ants in structures that the wood has already starting to rot from other reasons, maybe moisture, like fascia boards and soffit boards. If they get a lot of rain, the wood starts to rot. Then carpenter ants are attracted to this, and they come in and they make feeding galleries in the already rotting wood. So a carpenter ant cannot infect sound, healthy wood. So if you have problems with carpenter ants, probably the best way to treat that is to locate, these rotting boards and fix the situation that's causing the wood to rot in the first place, and then you won't have any carpenter ants.
Some good advice right there. But back to what we were going to talk about before we had the phone call. We have had some idea around here at the station for the last month or so that this was something that was going to be happening, although it is happening a little bit faster than we had kind of thought that it would happen. But we are kind of sad and glad at the same time about what we're getting ready to tell you about. But Mr. Carl Cantalupi of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service is going to be retiring.
Yes.
After how many years of service, Carl?
Almost 22 years here in North Carolina and 14 years in other states. So a total of 36 years altogether.
And Carl has been here on the Gardener's Corner program since its inception.
16 years.
So it's been a long time.
No, what am I saying?
Yeah,
20
20
years. 1996.
And also, Mr. Don Carroll and Carl started the Gardener's Corner program years ago on the radio as a 30-minute segment, but it has grown over the years, and Carl has always been nice and kind enough to come out and share his knowledge, and we're really excited about him and his wife are going to be able to start spending more time together in his retirement. And Carl, I kind of envy you, and we will certainly miss you.
Well, I certainly miss the way that I've been treated by the radio and TV staff here. Always willing to help and promote extension, and that's what it's all about. I think in extension, and the ones that are fortunate enough to have the help of the mass media to get the word out. It's just completely wonderful, and I've been blessed with having good media response to my programs.
Well, Carl, I think that just can't be one. It's got to be a lot of different things involved to get the word out. Carl, what is your actual date of retirement? What are you planning on? Your date to retire?
Okay, well, my last working day will be June 30th, so I will be retired as of July 1st.
Okay, so, and July 1st will be on a Friday, and so
Is it?
I think it is. I think July 1st is on a Friday.
I gotta.
Yeah, Kilby's shaking
break
his head yes.
Oh, it is, huh?
Yeah. But anyway, so
It is.
we will kind of play it by ear and see what happens. And we do not know at this point in time how we will continue on with the Gardener's Corner program, but we're going to work hard and do everything that we can to do what's best for all parties involved. But again, Carl, the best of luck to you.
Thank you, Rob.
And we'll be talking about this over the next few weeks.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
today is not the last day. We've got another month of shows, so y'all will see it. God, we was hoping today was the day, but no, it's going to be about a month. But anyway, Carl just found out within the last few days on when he would be able to retire.
Right.
He's been talking about it, and he's really excited about it. And we're happy for you, Carl.
Well,
And
thank
I mean that I consider you a friend.
You bet.
And
Always,
so,
will remember the good memories that I've had here over the years.
Hey, we've got a caller.
Okay.
Good morning. Thank you for calling the Gardener's Corner program.
Yes, I've heard you talking about ants and termites, and there's another good way to identify the difference between them.
Okay.
That's the wings.
Yes.
Ants have two pair of wings. They've got a long pair and a short pair.
Mm-hmm.
Termites have two pair of wings, and they are all the same length.
Right. Yeah, the termites come from the order Isoptera. Isoptera means equal winged. A lot of people, especially if you don't have good eyesight, that might be difficult to see. But you're right. Termites have equal sized wings, and ants do not. Correct.
Right.
Hey,
And also, usually after a rain and the sun comes out, that usually is what triggers a termite swarm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was getting ready to ask Carl, was it just, the warm weather, but so after rain and then the sun comes out, it's what makes them swarm. I had something to land on me yesterday, but I didn't pay any attention to what it was, and we were actually in the hayfield, and I thought it may have been a mayfly, but I did make a quick glance. It was not a mayfly, but I swatted it, and but the next time that happens, I'm going to pay a little bit closer attention. But appreciate you making mention of that for
Yeah,
us.
thanks for
So
calling in.
again, to reiterate,
And also, Carl, enjoy your retirement, sir.
Thank you very much.
all right, appreciate that. Thank you. So, Carl, to reiterate what the caller just said, the termite has 4 wings. All the wings are the same size.
Right.
And the ant has 4 wings, but 2 wings are longer than,
Yeah,
than
they're
2 of them.
They're unequal in size. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. We are live in the studio today, 336-599-0266. 336-599-0266 is the number. Let's get a word on right now for South Boston Memorials. They're located on Seymour Drive right over in South Boston. They've been in business over there since the 50s. Nice people. Laser edging can take customization to a whole new level. Here's more information from South Boston Memorials.
South Boston Memorials, located 1439 Seymour Drive in South Boston, Virginia. They offer granite markers, monuments, and mausoleums. For more information, visit the website SoboMemorials.com or call 434-572-3859. South Boston Memorials have been in business and family-owned since 1958. In-house laser etching is available at South Boston Memorials. They have over 300 granite memorials in stock. For all of your granite markers, monuments, and mausoleums, stop in and see them right there at South Boston Memorials, located 1439 Seymour Drive in South Boston, Virginia, or call them at 434-572-3859 and visit the website SoboMemorials.com. That's South Boston Memorials, located 1439 Seymour Drive in South Boston.
Here we are back on the Gardener's Corner program. My name is Rob Hall. Mr. Carl Cantalupi of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service is our resident expert. Anyway, Carl, we've got a caller.
All right.
Good morning. Thank you for calling the Gardener's Corner program.
Oops, still on hold.
Oh. Good morning. Thank you for calling the Gardener's Corner program.
Yes, I was wondering, I know a few shows back, you all talked about Carl being on a program on Channel 4.
Yes.
regarding asparagus. Does he know any more details about that before he retires? I want to know when maybe that's going to be coming on.
Okay, and I wish I could tell you something. The only thing I can tell you is just watch the Almanac Gardener each Saturday. I think it comes on Saturday mornings. I was never told when they would actually air that segment when they came out to my asparagus variety trial patch. And also, we talked about rhubarb as well. So the only thing I can say is just tune in every Saturday.
Well, Carl, maybe between now
I can
and the
find
next-
out.
Maybe you
Yeah.
can send an email. But that's a good question,
Yeah.
and hadn't thought about that. But thank you for making mention of that.
Okay, and I think the Almanac Gardener, I think that maybe comes on Monday afternoons too.
Oh, okay. If that's
saw
true,
it
I don't
this
know.
Past Monday, Monday afternoon, maybe like 2:30ish, 2 or 2:30ish, or something like that. So,
You know-
but I'm going to double check that. But happy retirement, and Mr. Rob Hall, happy belated birthday yesterday.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that a
Oh.
bunch. Is this who I think it is?
Do what?
Is this who I think it is?
I don't know who you think it is.
Well, with your bubbly personality, I have a great idea. And thank you for the birthday wish.
You can be guessing, okay?
All right, we'll see. All right,
Well,
bye.
thank you so much. I've enjoyed the show these years.
Thank you.
Y'all
All right.
have a great
You
day.
too. All right, bye.
Do you mean you slipped by without mentioning anything? Oh my
Man,
gosh!
I'll tell you what, Carl. We getting close to the 5-0. Getting close. But yeah, Carl, if you could follow up with that, because we'd like to, see the how
Yeah,
you
I'll-
react
yeah.
on TV when you got some real talent working with you.
When the pressure is on. That's right.
And with PBS, I know they have several different channels out there, and I know they have the Explore channel and different ones, and I for one watch PBS quite often and enjoy it. And I was thinking also that the Almanac Gardener comes on Saturday, but
Yeah, well,
know-
it could be Monday as well, but yeah, definitely Saturday around noontime, I think.
yeah, we have Dish Network, and we get PBS on Channel 4 and also on Channel 36. And for those people that have like a digital TV antenna, I think they've got maybe more than 2 PBS channels on. So anyway, but yeah, let us know if you could,
Yeah,
and that way it would be interesting and
All right.
to check that out. But anyway, we're going to move along.
Yeah, here's a few things that people should be looking at in the landscape, because this is really pronounced now. If you have not seen this before, you really need to take a look at this. And this is cedar quince rust on the juniper. This is what it starts out. This is just like cedar apple rust. And on the juniper, it starts out like this. The galls that are produced are flattened, whereas on the cedar apple rust, the galls that are produced on the cedar are more round shaped. But this is how it starts off. And if you have Bradford ornamental pears, this is what you'll see. You'll see this is actually cedar quince rust on the hawthorn tree, but it looks the same on a Bradford pear. The Bradford pears produce little fruit, and if you look real close, you can see these orange, rusty colored spores occurring on the fruit. That indicates the presence of the cedar quince rust fungus. Also, the tips of the branches will turn black. So many times people think, oh my goodness, I have fire blight. No, if you have cedar quince rust, it only affects the tips of the branches, and it doesn't move on down the branch and form cankers close to the center of the tree and eventually kill the plant. The cedar quince rust does not work that way. The tips of the branches will become black, and you can cut them off if you want, but if you don't do anything, it's not going to get worse. It's not going to move and kill the tree. But again, this is cedar quince rust on Bradford pear, Look at the tiny fruits. If you see blackened leaves, make sure that you look at the small fruits for the presence of these orange spores. And if you see this, it's not life-threatening. There's really not much you need to do.
Well, Carl, here it is, pretty much the end of May. Still plenty of time to plant any kind of warm season vegetables.
Warm season vegetables. Now's the time. Get out there and get them planted. I might advise people to get on the fungicide spray program as soon as you can, being that especially we're going to be getting more rains, and if the temperatures stay warm, this is the ideal combination for fungus diseases to start. So for diseases on tomatoes that we know we get year in and year out, early blight and septoria leaf spot, you need to start out with fungicide sprays using Daconil, Daconil. And if you want to buy Mancozeb, Mancozeb, you might alternate spraying with Mancozeb once every 7 to 10 days, and then the following week spray it with Daconil. This will help so that the fungi do not gain resistance to the fungicide. So sometimes it's very difficult to do, but if you stay ahead of the fungus and don't allow the plant to become extremely infected, leaf spots all over the place, leaves falling down, sometimes that will be you'll lose an uphill battle that way. So, and again, with most fungicides are protectants, not eradicants. That means once you have the fungus disease, spraying it is not going to control those affected leaves. It'll prevent fungus diseases on the new leaves that are not infected, but a good strategy is, if you do find diseased leaves, is to pick those off and get rid of them, and then spray the new leaves, because a fungicide has to land on the leaf, and it has to kill the fungus spore, which blows in the air. The spore lands on the leaf, and if the fungicide is on the leaf, it forms a barrier so that the spore cannot germinate and grow into the leaf to cause the disease. So that's why we have to act proactively with fungus diseases.
All righty, y'all, some good advice. We need to get a word on for Our Pride Foods, makers of Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip, and we'll continue on with the Gardener's Corner program after we get a word on. You know, here it is, Memorial Day weekend. If you're going to be having cookouts and gatherings, Our Pride Foods would like to take just a moment to pass along to you. Do everything that you can to keep your food safe. Practice safe food techniques. If it's something that's supposed to be kept cold, keep it in the refrigerator. Don't let it set out very long, or keep it in a cooler with plenty of ice. And it's something that needs to be kept warm to hot, you know, because you don't want to suffer any foodborne illnesses anytime, especially over the holidays. Here's some more information from Our Pride Foods.
Our Pride Foods, makers of Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip, is made in Roxborough. Whether you're having a family gathering or would just like a snack for yourself, be sure to keep plenty of Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip on hand. Goodness grows in North Carolina. Our Pride Foods, makers of Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese, is available at T.G. Brooks Company, Hurdle Mills Market and Butcher Shop, North Main IGA, Twins Meat Market, Just Save, and Food Line stores. Also, if you're in Uptown Roxborough and get the hankering for some Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese, you can enjoy it at Cole's Pharmacy and Triss's Espresso. That's Our Pride Foods, makers of Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip. Try the jalapeno added for extra flavor. Goodness Grows in North Carolina, and Our Pride Foods, makers of Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip, is located in Roxboro.
Here we are back on the Gardeners Corner program, and as promised, we're going to do something here that we've done before on the Gardeners Corner program in honor of Memorial Day. Special thanks to our sponsors, T.G. Brooks Company, South Boston Memorials, and Our Pride Foods, makers of Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Thanks to our resident expert, Mr. Carl Cantalupi.
Thank you, as
Again,
always.
congratulations on your upcoming retirement.
Thank you, sir.
The end of June. And with that, Carl, I'm going to let you introduce what we're getting ready to do.
Okay. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, every year we feature Mr. Red Skelton in a more serious note. We all remember him as a comedian, but he talks about the Pledge of Allegiance, and he recites the pledge line by line, and gives you a real good meaning of what is meant by the Pledge of Allegiance. So here we'll play this for you now.
Teacher that I had. Now I went through the 7th grade. I went to the 7th grade, and I left home when I was 10 years old because I was hungry. And I used to. This is true. I work in the summer. And I go to school in the winter. But I had this one teacher. He was the principal of the Harrison School in Vincennes, Indiana. To me, this was the greatest teacher, a real sage of my time. Anyhow, he had such wisdom, and we were all reciting the Pledge of Allegiance one day, and he walked over. This little old teacher, Mr. Laswell was his name. Mr. Laswell is he says, I've been listening to you boys and girls recite the Pledge of Allegiance all semester, and it seems as though it's becoming monotonous to you. If I may I recite it and try to explain to you the meaning of each word. I, me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge, dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity, allegiance, my love and my devotion to the flag, our standard, oh glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there's respect, because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom is everybody's job. United. That means that we have all come together. States, individual communities that have united into 48 great states. 48 individual communities with pride, dignity, and purpose. All divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose. And that's love for country. And to the republic, a state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people. And it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands. One nation, meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right of power to live one's own life without threats, fear, or some sort of retaliation. And justice, the principle or qualities of dealing fairly with others. For all. Which means, boys and girls, it's as much your country as it is mine. And now, boys and girls,
Let me hear you recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country, and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance: under God. Wouldn't it be a pity if someone said that is a prayer and that would be eliminated from schools too?